It's 3 a.m. You're asleep in your home. Outside, a truck quietly pulls up to your driveway. A man steps out, walks to your car, inserts a key or uses a remote device, and drives away with your vehicle. No warning, no knock on the door, no chance to grab your belongings from inside. By the time you wake up, your car is gone. Welcome to the Repo Man industry, a $10 billion business built on taking property from people who fell behind on payments, operating in legal gray areas, and profiting from financial desperation. Today, we're going inside one of America's most controversial industries. Repossession agents work in the shadows, facing danger and legal liability while helping lenders recover assets from borrowers in crisis. By the end, you'll understand how this industry operates, who profits, and why it exists in the first place. When you finance a car, the lender holds a security interest in the vehicle. You don't actually own it until the final payment clears. Miss payments, typically 2 or 3 months, and the lender can legally repossess the car without warning or court order in most states. They hire repossession companies to locate and seize the vehicle. Repo agents are contracted by lenders or work through forwarding companies that connect banks with local operators. They receive assignments with vehicle information, last known location, and debtor details. Payment varies, but typically ranges from $200 to $500 per successful recovery, depending on difficulty and vehicle type. The agent's job is to recover the vehicle as quickly and quietly as possible. They work mostly at night when cars are parked at home and owners are asleep. They use license plate recognition technology, GPS tracking, and databases to locate vehicles. Some agents drive trucks equipped with hydraulic lifts that can hook and tow a car in under 60 seconds. Repossession laws vary dramatically by state, creating confusion and exploitation. In most states, agents can take vehicles from private property like driveways without permission, as long as they don't breach the peace, a vague legal standard that's interpreted differently everywhere. Breach of peace generally means no force, no threats, no breaking into locked garages, and stopping if the owner confronts them. But what happens in practice is messier. Agents sometimes take cars from locked gates, ignore owners yelling at them to stop, or argue that since they already hooked the vehicle, they can legally finish the repossession, despite confrontation. Some states allow repossession from any location without notice. Others require warnings or prohibit taking vehicles from certain places. Texas allows aggressive repossession. Wisconsin requires the lender to notify borrowers first. California has strict rules about confrontation. The patchwork of laws creates situations where agents operate in legal gray areas, pushing boundaries to complete jobs. The repossession industry exists because American consumer debt is massive and default rates are significant. Auto loan debt exceeds $1.5 trillion nationally, with roughly 7 million people over 90 days delinquent at any given time. When borrowers default, lenders need to recover collateral quickly to minimize losses. Repossession is expensive for everyone involved. Lenders pay repo fees, storage costs, auction fees, and often recover less than the loan balance. Borrowers lose their transportation, face credit damage, and often still owe deficiency balances after the car is sold. The only consistent winners are repossession companies, collecting fees for every recovery. The industry thrives during economic downturns when job losses spike and people can't make payments. During the 2008 recession, repossessions doubled. During COVID, government intervention temporarily protected borrowers, but as protections expired, repossession rates surged again. Repossession is one of the most dangerous jobs in America. Agents work alone, at night, in unfamiliar neighborhoods, taking property from people in financial crisis, people who are often desperate, angry, and sometimes armed. Confrontations turn violent regularly. Repo agents have been shot, stabbed, run over, and assaulted. Borrowers who discover their cars being taken sometimes physically attack agents or use vehicles as weapons. Some desperate owners will damage their own cars rather than lose them. The job requires constant awareness of surroundings and exit strategies if confrontations escalate. Most agents don't carry weapons despite the danger because using force would breach peace and violate repossession laws. They rely on speed, discretion, and de-escalation skills. The best agents complete jobs without owners even knowing they were there. The worst situations end in violence, lawsuits, or criminal charges. The industry's murky legal framework and pressure to complete jobs quickly leads to wrongful repossessions, taking vehicles from people who aren't actually delinquent or taking the wrong vehicle entirely. This happens more often than it should because agents work from incomplete information, databases are outdated, or simple human error. Imagine waking up to find your car gone. You call police thinking it was stolen. Eventually, you learn it was repossessed, except you're current on payments. Now you have to prove the error, often requiring days of phone calls, documentation, and fighting bureaucracy while you have no transportation to work. Some lenders take weeks to return wrongfully repossessed vehicles, destroying people's lives over clerical errors. There are documented cases of agents taking cars from the wrong address, repossessing vehicles with similar license plates, or executing orders on loans that were actually paid off but not updated in systems. Victims have limited recourse and often spend more fighting wrongful repossession than the car is worth. Once repossessed, vehicles are stored in impound lots, where they accumulate daily storage fees that borrowers owe. After legal waiting periods, lenders sell vehicles at wholesale auctions for significantly less than retail value, typically 60 to 70% of market value. This creates another problem: deficiency balances. If you owed $15,000 on a car worth $12,000 retail, the lender might auction it for $8,000. You still owe $7,000, plus repossession fees, storage costs, and auction fees, often totaling $9,000 to $10,000 on a car you no longer have. This debt pursues borrowers for years, damaging credit and leading to wage garnishments. The auction system benefits dealers who buy repossessed cars cheaply and resell them at profit. The borrower loses the car and still owes money. The lender loses money versus the original loan. The repo company and auction house are the only guaranteed winners. The repossession industry is closely tied to subprime auto lending, high-interest loans made to people with poor credit. These loans often have interest rates of 15 to 25%, with some exceeding 30%. Borrowers are statistically likely to default, which is priced into the loan terms. Some argue the entire model is predatory. Lend to high-risk borrowers at rates that make default likely, repossess the vehicle when they inevitably miss payments, auction it, and then pursue deficiency balances. The lender makes money from interest payments during the loan, and potentially from deficiency collection after repossession. The borrower's credit is destroyed, making them even more desperate for their next high-interest loan. Buy Here, Pay Here dealerships take this further, selling cars with built-in GPS trackers and remote kill switches that let dealers disable vehicles remotely when payments are late. These dealers expect default and design their business around rapid repossession and resale of the same vehicles multiple times. If you're facing repossession, understand your rights. You can negotiate with lenders before repossession. Many prefer payment plans over the expense of recovery. Once the car is taken, you have a brief redemption period where you can pay the full balance plus fees to get it back, though few can afford this. You're entitled to personal belongings left in the vehicle. Agents are legally required to inventory and return personal items, though in practice this is inconsistently enforced. You should get notice of when and where the car will be auctioned and have the right to bid on your own vehicle if you can arrange financing. After auction, you'll receive notice of the deficiency balance. This debt can be negotiated. Lenders often settle for less than the full amount rather than pursue expensive collection efforts. Ignoring it leads to wage garnishment, bank account levies, and credit destruction that lasts 7 years. The repossession industry exists because Americans are drowning in debt on depreciating assets. We finance cars we can't afford at interest rates that guarantee financial stress. When crisis hits, job loss, medical emergency, unexpected expense, the car payment becomes impossible, and the repossession machine activates. This industry doesn't create the problem, but it profits from it. $10 billion flows through an industry that takes property from desperate people, often in the middle of the night, under legal frameworks designed to favor lenders over borrowers. It's necessary for the lending system to function, but the human cost is devastating. If this video exposed an industry most people never think about until it affects them, like and subscribe. See you next time.